Hmm. So I felt cheated in a Malayalam film. Hi guys, this is Farhad and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. If you're new to this channel, then please smash that subscribe button now and remember to like and comment on the video. Liking and commenting helps fuel the YouTube algorithm. And with that, the film that we're going to be discussing today is the new Malayalam film that I had a lot of hope from. The film is Bougainvillea, which is starring Kunchacko Boban, Fahad Fazil, and Jyoti Mayer. So the problem with this film is that I had sky high expectations after watching the trailer of it, which seemed very interesting. It seemed like an intriguing piece of mystery that is there with a person suffering from amnesia. And I have mixed feelings about this film. I won't lie. I did feel cheated, and you'll get to know exactly why. So, coming to the story and screenplay, Bougainvillea is essentially a story of a couple who undergo an accident, out of which one of them suffers from what is called as retrograde amnesia, and she eventually gets embroiled in an investigation of some missing girls from the vicinity. So that is essentially the story here, and I really like the first two acts of the film, but the final act was absolutely a bummer for me. So, one of the things that the story does and does really well here is that it consists of two themes here. One is of the investigation, of course, that floats on the upper layer of the story, and one is a character study, a quiet character study about amnesia that is used as an underlying layer here, and both go hand in hand throughout the narrative that is there. The thing is that it starts off so well. It actually showcases the accident that you see in the trailer as well. It happens very early on in the film, and then it takes a generational gap, of 8 years to be precise, not sort of a generational gap, you can say, out of which then you are invested and slowly embroiled in the world of the couple, the delusional world of the protagonist that is there, on how she feels, and you see that there is something amiss even with related to her behavior that is there. Her behavior seems slightly off also at many junctures in the screenplay. This while the investigation slowly kicks in after the disappearance of one of the girls that is there, and that is when the story, the twist and turns in the story, they unfold through the gaze of the protagonist suffering from amnesia. Now, there is definitely a gripping first hour that is there. It's pretty solid, and it is almost understated with its tonality, which is such a refreshing quality in a Amal Neerad film. I mean, he's known for these mass masala entertainers that is there, which are very unique. He was one of the voices of the new age Malayalam cinema that is there. He kickstarted his filmography in that phase, and so this was a very different kind of a Amal Neerad film to begin with the first two acts that are there. It did get a little repetitive, I must admit, in the second hour, but the twist at the halfway mark, it promised to be a lot, in terms of the revelation in the second hour that is there. The story, though, steadily keeps declining, but it's still watchable, and I still was, engrossed in it till the final act came through. And the final act was absolutely a bummer. Now, I'm not going to be revealing what it is because it will ultimately have a spoiler, So, whatever happens in the final act, I absolutely found it tepid. Even with the flashback and everything that is there, it just felt very half baked. And the tone of the drama suddenly changed to something more massy, which I was absolutely on the fence with. I absolutely did not like it so much. So that is that. I mean, I felt cheated here because, the last act, it needed a little twist at the end to cut through the predictability that is there. And I think that is, especially, when it's coming after Kishkinda Kandam, the last theatrical Malayalam film that I watched, I felt cheated. I must admit, I wasn't very happy with the final act and also the finale that is there, which just felt, oh, a missed opportunity. Let's put it that way. But coming to the technical aspects like the dialogues, the music, and the direction, I felt the dialogues here they do remain understated for most of the time till they also turn rogue in the final act. And again, it's the same story as far as the dialogues are concerned. The music is good, the songs are integrated in the story really well. However, BGM is an interesting case study here. I did like the BGM when, if I would to hear it individually and independent of the drama, if I would hear the BGM independent of the drama, I would really like it. But when it played with the drama, it was almost like a distraction, particularly in the final act. I mean, when the mood of the film had to be fear and of horror, it turned out to be massy, and it just did not land. And I think it was again one of the few aspects that didn't work in the film's favor, you can say. The cinematography, I felt the frames are pretty good here, and they make a lasting impression from the first frame to the last frame. Even when the final woeful final act is playing out, it definitely did make its mark, as far as the frames are concerned. Likewise, for the editing also, I think the editing was pretty good. They had some amazing match cuts, transition cuts that were there. Also, the fast interlink cuts in the final act definitely was praiseworthy in terms of its technicality. Director Amal Neerad, I mean, there's so much to like about this director and the style of narration that is there. And although, let's keep the final act aside, this was a very Amal Neerad like a film. It was very different from his other films that is there, with his understated tone and almost making it like a psychological thriller, focusing on the psyche of the protagonist that is there, and also creating a smoke screen of sorts. I think the director did his job really well, but he let down the writer Amal Neerad in this case, Amal Neerad, the writer, let down the director in this case because the writing was a little bit of an issue, but the direction was really good. Coming to the performances, I felt the performances are really good, and one of the reasons why this film eventually becomes watchable at the end of the day. I really liked Veena in the role, Shrinda, Sharfuddin, all of them leave a lasting impression. However, with the character of Farhad Fazil, I was a little disappointed, not because of his performance. I think he's a phenomenal actor and he does such a wonderful job generally, but the manner in which his character was written was so weak. And to have a film, promoted on his name is absolutely absurd. This is in Malayalam cinema. I mean, anyone could have done that role, which absolutely had nothing in it for him. Nothing in it. It was almost like the makers were self aware that, oh, we may have, jacked up the character of the cop, he has nothing to do, and so let's get why am I saying Farhad Fazil on board, to create his magic. And it was just that it was the character, it was so poorly written that even Farhad couldn't save it. Though his performance was not bad, it was still good. The two standout performances were of Jyotimai and Kunchacko Boban. Both of them were outstanding here. I won't dwell into their characters as such, but to avoid spoilers, of course. But both of them do a staggering job. So overall, I felt that Bougainvillea is just about a decent kind of a thriller. Had this been, some of a thriller from another language, any other language, you pick the language, I would have still been a little lenient with it. But because it is Malayalam cinema, because it is following up after Kishkinda Kandam, the first major release after that, it cannot be this loose. The second hour could not be that loose. The final act could not be that loose. And so it just makes for a decent, film for me. I liked the film, but I disliked it at the same time. It's somewhere in between. It's a mid-level film for me. That was it. I mean, I felt cheated. I wasn't cheated, but I felt cheated at the end of the day. And it was a little disappointing given the sky high expectations that I had. It's not right up there. It's still watchable, I would say, but nothing extraordinary, you would say. So that was it then. That was my review of Bougainvillea. If you're liking this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Comment on what did you make of the film. I have an announcement, so please wait for that as well. Before that, if you'd like to read my full review of Bougainvillea on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S, then the link of which is in the description box below. Follow me on social media platforms as well, Letterboxd, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All links are in the description box. You will get all details of the latest reviews, which is also available on my site, on my social media accounts. Also, share this video with your friends and family. Ask them to subscribe to the channel. One announcement is that I'm going to be on a little break for a week. You may not see me. In fact, you won't be seeing me for 1 week, because I'm going to be covering the Mumbai Film Festival, the Mami Film Festival that is there. And there's an interesting lineup that is in store, even with respect to the Malayalam films that are there. So you will hear from me after the festival, hopefully with a couple of updates from the Mami, from the Malayalam film section that is there also. I'll be making videos on those. But if you'd like to follow my reviews there and then my site is going to be active. I will be writing through the festival as well. So do follow that for all the films across the world. And also there are a couple of Malayalam films in my list, one of which is, going to be early on in the festival, and you know which film it is if you know the Mami lineup that is there. If you know the opening film that is there, I'll keep it under wraps, do a little homework. So that is it then. I'm going to be on a little break, but I'll see you soon. Till then, keep throwing your love on my channel, and keep spreading this love from all across the world. Thank you so much for all your love once again, and I'll see you again very soon with another video, with a little break, of course. Till then, take care of yourselves. Cheers.